channel. If you're new here, my name is Shayna and I am a first-time mama of a 1-month-old. This video I'm going to be doing what I actually used in my hospital bag. So I have a few things here. I didn't grab everything, just grabbed a couple of things that were first on my mind and easy to grab. I have my list here of everything I did bring so that way I can stay on track. But the first thing, so what I did pack in my hospital bag were toiletries, obviously. I didn't bring any of those in here because they're the obvious: toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner, body wash, and all that stuff, which I brought all of those and used all of those. I put them in travel size things and put them in my toiletry bag to make it easier. I ended up staying there an extra day because I got diagnosed with preeclampsia after labor. So we had to stay an extra day and a half before we could go home. Makeup I put on before I went to the hospital, but then I didn't use it again afterwards because my hospital experience wasn't exactly what I was expecting. It was hard. It was very difficult because I was in a lot of pain and I really couldn't move. I couldn't get out of bed for over 24 hours because of medication that they put me on for the preeclampsia. So it wasn't the greatest hospital experience because I was sick and I had to deal with a lot of stuff after birth, so I didn't have the energy, nor did I feel like putting on makeup. So I brought a couple of leggings and a pair of joggers to put on or whatever after, you know, birth, and we go into our postpartum room and good for recovery. And you see most women getting up and walking around and they're perfectly fine, and obviously I could not do that, and I was pretty much bedridden the entire time and feeling really sick and exhausted. Like the next to the last day, that second half of that day and the afternoon of the day that we left, I started to feel like myself and I got up and moved around, but I still didn't really wear much clothes. I didn't wear any of the joggers or leggings other than one pair that I wore into the hospital, and I also wore those same pair of leggings outside of the hospital because they're my favorite. And I was very, very swollen. Had me on a lot of fluids, and the medication had me really bloated, and I was swollen in places that I don't even want to talk about, but it was really bad. So I really couldn't fit in anything, and these leggings were the ones that I kind of wore throughout my entire pregnancy. They're very loose. They're actually Walmart leggings. The Wild, it says Wild Fable, but they're Walmart leggings, and they're pretty stretchy, and they're high-waisted, so they would always come up above my bump. So I always wore these for my bump date pictures, and I wound up wearing this pair into the hospital and also on the way home. And these are kind of loose on me. They're not too tight, and I could barely fit my leg, like my ankles, through here because of how swollen I was. So I obviously knew I wasn't going to fit in the other pairs that I brought. And my joggers themselves I've had for years and years, and I definitely knew, like, because they're already tight on my pre-pregnancy body, they were definitely not fit me on the way out. So I wound up wearing these twice, but I only wore this for like maybe 2 hours tops when I went into the hospital. Booker! And I wore this bump shirt into the hospital, which again I only wore for like 2 hours, but I never wore it again, but that was packed in my hospital bag. And I wore this mama shirt for my going home outfit with those black leggings. And so this is what I used the most while in the hospital in labor, and then what I wore postpartum. It was the easiest to get on. I've seen a lot of reviews on this, and a lot of people get this for their hospital bag, but it is the Target nightgown. It is super, super freaking soft. I wore this while I was in labor. I would put it around me, and family and friends or stuff would try and come in and visit me, and I didn't want everything out because I only wore a sports bra, actually the same one I'm wearing now but in a different color, and anything underneath me. Well, I had underwear on for a good minute because I'm just so uncomfortable without underwear on, but obviously I don't want my father-in-law to see me like that, so I had this on. And obviously I couldn't put one arm in one of the sleeves because the IV, but I had it draped around my shoulder and then buttoned. I was actually pretty hot. I didn't want my sleeves in it anyway, especially in postpartum. I had put this on and then I had to take it off right away whenever they realized that I had to go back to labor and delivery to be put on the magnesium medication because of the preeclampsia. So those are the only outfits that I wore. I'm going to show you the sports bra that I'm talking about. I labored in this and I gave birth in this. So when I pushed her out, when I was pushing, this was the only thing that I was wearing. Have a night, baby. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I didn't have a hospital gown on. I did when I first got there, but after an hour and a half, I took it off. And that's when I just wore this, my underwear, and then I put the nightgown on when people would come into the room. And when I was on my labor ball, I wore this as well. You guys, this is Emery. This is my baby girls. I picked her up because she kept whining. She kept sitting her patio. What, booger? You didn't want to be down there by yourself? Is that what it was? Is that what it was? As far as other clothing go, like socks and stuff, I had brought a ton of fuzzy socks, and I actually wound up not wearing them at all. My favorite pair of shoes that I plan on bringing, my flip-flops, my dog ate the day before we left for the hospital, so I obviously couldn't bring those. Did bring these. I wore these into the hospital. I also wore them out, but that was literally it. I didn't wear any shoes or any socks the entire time there, and a lot of people may think that is really gross walking on the hospital floor, but I took like 3 showers while I was there, and let me tell you, it was the best thing in the entire freaking world. Hours after birth feel freaking amazing, let me tell you. And I didn't even wear shower shoes, which I had brought. I brought another pair of flip-flops, which I hate, that I have in my closet as backup, and I brought those for shower shoes, and I wound up not wearing them. These I actually barely could fit in when I was leaving the hospital because I was so swollen. I couldn't get these on all the way. My foot would not go all the way through them. So if that tells you anything, I wouldn't even have been able to wear these in my hospital stay anyway. But like I said, I was on bed rest for the most part, so I really wasn't getting up until the last day. And then obviously when I went to go take a shower, but I was mainly in bed because I was still in a lot of pain and I was really, really uncomfortable. Then my postpartum and labor care, I packed an entire postpartum bag, like another toiletry bag. I used a couple things that I put in there, but as far as like pads, the peri bottle, the Freedom Mom foam and stuff, I didn't use while I was in the hospital. I used everything that they gave me because I was most comfortable with that and was already in the bathroom. I didn't feel like unpacking, getting all that stuff because I did not feel good at all. So I just went ahead and used what they had. And when I got home from the hospital, that is when I started using my own stuff. I took home all the mesh panties that they had in my room, and I continued to use those for the first 2 days that I was home. And I took home a couple ice packs because just in case it started to hurt down there. Already swollen when I was in the hospital, so I used those when needed. So nail spray, didn't use the Freedom Mom foam or my Tux pads. Didn't use my heating pad. I didn't use my exercise ball. They had their own exercise ball, which is 10 times bigger than mine. Mine in my car, but just in case they didn't have any available, I wanted to bring mine and have to use mine. I wound up not using my heating pad. I just used the ice packs, and I didn't use it during labor either. The 2 things that I put on my labor and delivery thing that I used was peppermint oil and frankincense. So this I used to breathe in when I was in a lot of pain and needed to breathe through my contractions. This helps you breathe better. Focus on that and eases it for you. I used this for a couple of contractions, but I didn't use it a lot, mainly because I really was clutching onto stuff, and I struggled holding this to my nose while I was going through that because I just wanted to breathe and roll my neck, because that's literally what I did the entire time. You should go watch my birth vlog if you haven't already. I will link it down below. That's literally all you see me doing while I'm going through my contractions, is that, and I'm clutching onto the bed frame. So I had to, that's what I felt like I needed to do to get through it. But I did use this a little bit, and I used peppermint oil for in the toilet for after my first time peeing. I used that for my first couple pees, and after that was pretty good. Now I'm going to tell you my most favorite thing on this list that I will always bring to the hospital if I ever go in for any reason, and that is this portable fan. Favorite thing in the entire freaking world. I use this non-stop, and baby girl here struggling holding her temperature. So we kept our hospital room very, very, very hot. And I was already dying because the medication that they had me on made you feel like you had the flu, and it made you really, really, really hot, but you also had chills. So I was dying. So this was my lifeline. This kept me sane while I was there and able to sleep, even though I was highly uncomfortable and in tremendous pain. But this kept me alive in the hospital. I highly recommend that if you pack anything in your bag, you pack this. Thing that I use the most, that I love, that I suggest that you pack in your bag, is that Target nightgown. Love it. First thing, nipple cream velvet nightlight. boppy and nursing pads are what I had on my list. I only used the Vava Nightlight. I only used this. And I actually haven't used it at all since I've been home. I actually don't like it that much as bright as I wanted it to be. So we've been using the Hatch sound machine nightlight while we've been home. But I used this in the hospital, so it did come in handy. But I could have used a flashlight on my phone. I'm not going to say it's a waste of money because a lot of people really, really enjoyed having this, but I didn't need it. It was literally for 3 days, and then that was it. Like, I haven't used it since. So it was a waste of money, in my opinion, for my experience. Didn't use my boppy at all. We struggled with nursing a lot because she was in the NICU and my colostrum was really, really, really thick. So it didn't come out, so I had no problem with leaking. I used their pump. I pumped in the hospital and I used their pump to try and get the colostrum out and get my milk to come in. Didn't need any of the other stuff. I didn't use the nipple cream because I didn't feel the need to, because my nipples aren't sore. They weren't sensitive. I didn't feel any way until I got home, and I now use it after every single time I nurse or I pump. Electronics and paperwork. So obviously your wallet, you're definitely going to need that. And then this file folder, I also highly recommend getting. You don't have to get this file folder, but just bring one, because they give you a ton of paperwork in the hospital. Like, this thing is heavy and slap full. But I highly suggest getting one of these because you don't want to lose any paperwork. You don't want anything to get crinkled or messed up or squished. So that was everything that was in my hospital bag and the things that I wound up using. Now for her diaper bag, what I used for her, so we actually wound up using pretty much everything in her diaper bag that we packed as far as clothing goes, but all the accessories we didn't use any passies at all. She actually didn't get a passy until she was 1 week old, and that was because she was screaming and my husband wasn't having it. We didn't use the Oogie Boogie booger thing for the nose, and actually the bulb, the suction bulb, her nose is so small, it actually kind of really wouldn't fit in her nose. But she hasn't really had any issues with congestion since she's been born. Use her baby book only for her feet, for her footprints. This is her baby book. I got it from Blossom and Pear, and they're really good. But we got her footprints and her handprints in here. That's what we did. And I haven't written in it since, like I really need to, but I honestly haven't had the time, being a new mom. We didn't use any socks or mittens on her while we were in the hospital. Her going home outfit wound up not being her going home outfit because she was so teeny tiny that she didn't fit into it, and actually came home and got one. So this is actually what she wound up going home in, except for this is the newborn, not the preemie. The preemie one's dirty, but it was this outfit. She wound up wearing this. I packed this because it was a preemie outfit just in case, and this is what the only thing she actually fit in besides her knotted gown. We used all the swaddles we brought, and I brought one Velcro swaddle, and then this is her swaddle that has her name on it. We also used it for announcement pictures, and then we used the receiving blankets at the hospital to swaddle her for most nights as well. And we went through a ton of stuff because she spit up on it, or like got poop on it, or she peed on it. Went through all of her clothes. This was one outfit that we brought. This outfit as well. It's dirty, which is why I have it over there, that she did not fit in. This thing swallowed her freaking whole. The gown we used for her announcement pictures, and she also wore, and then her other announcement picture outfit that it's a milestone onesie, and she loved that. We also had a little hat with it, and we brought a couple bows, but her head was so small that it was swallowing her head as well. And we also used her announcement plaques for the pictures. This one and this one. And that has her name on it, and she is dead to the world. Everything that we packed in her diaper bag, and what I had in my hospital bag, and what I used. So those are the couple of things that I definitely recommend. And I know a lot of people said don't bring clothes and stuff for them in the hospital because they're not going to wear anything, but we did because she was holding her temp. So we had her, you know, bundled up and everything, in swaddles and in clothes, because we wanted to keep her warm. So we had her in all of that stuff. But a lot of people may not need that. But she was a preemie. We had her early. She was in the NICU, so we had a lot of stuff. So that's just what we wound up using, and obviously anything you want to take for pictures. We didn't bring any diapers and wipes because the hospital provides that for you. I will try and link everything that I can down below in the description box. And me and Em are now going to check out, and I'm going to go put her down because she is asleep. So thank you guys for joining us. And we'll see you next time. Bye.